Good day, scholars and literature lovers. Imagine walking into a museum. In the first gallery, you see a shattered vase.
The curator has carefully collected every fragment and is trying to reconstruct the original object.
Every piece matters because somewhere beneath the damage lies a complete design. In the second gallery, you encounter another shattered vase. But this curator has scattered the fragments across the floor, placed mirrors around them, painted some pieces neon pink, and written on the wall, "Who said there was ever an original vase?"
Welcome to the difference between modernism and postmodernism. These two literary movements dominate much of 20th century literature.
Both reject traditional storytelling. Both experiment with language and form. Both challenge readers.
Yet they are driven by radically different philosophies. Modernism is haunted by the loss of meaning. Postmodernism is fascinated by the possibility that meaning itself may be an illusion. Today, we will explore one of the most important intellectual transformations in literary history. By the end of this lecture, you will not only understand the difference between modernism and postmodernism, you will never confuse them again. To understand modernism, we must first understand a world that was falling apart. The late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed dramatic transformations. Factories replaced traditional ways of life. Cities expanded at unprecedented speed. Scientific discoveries challenged centuries of religious certainty. The theories of Charles Darwin disrupted humanity's understanding of its origins. The theories of Albert Einstein challenged traditional assumptions about space and time. Meanwhile, Sigmund Freud suggested that human beings were not even masters of their own minds. Suddenly, everything seemed uncertain. Then came the catastrophe that changed everything: the First World War. For many intellectuals, World War I represented the collapse of Western civilization's faith in progress. Europe had proudly celebrated science, reason, technology, and civilization. Yet those same achievements had produced machine guns, poison gas, and mechanized slaughter. The question facing writers became unavoidable. How can human beings make sense of a world that appears fundamentally broken? This question lies at the heart of modernism. Modernist writers accepted that traditional certainties had collapsed. However, they refused to surrender completely. They believed that beneath the apparent chaos, some deeper truth still existed. The artist's task was to search for that truth. Modernism therefore combines despair with hope. The world may be fragmented. Meaning may be difficult to find. But the search remains worthwhile. This is why modernist literature often feels serious, intense, and intellectually demanding. Modernist writers are explorers searching through ruins. Let us discuss the four great features of modernism. First feature is fragmentation. Modernist texts often abandon straightforward chronology. Events appear out of sequence. Narratives jump between perspectives. Stories become puzzles. But there is an important point students often miss. The fragmentation is not the goal. It is a symptom of cultural crisis. Modernists fragment their works because reality itself appears fragmented. Yet they still hope the pieces can eventually reveal a larger pattern. Second feature is alienation. Modernist characters frequently experience profound loneliness. They feel disconnected from society, family, religion, and even themselves. The modern city becomes a symbol of spiritual isolation. Crowds surround individuals, yet genuine human connection seems impossible. One of modernism's most revolutionary techniques is stream of consciousness. Instead of presenting neatly organized thoughts, writers attempt to capture the actual movement of the mind. Thoughts wander. Memories interrupt the present. Sensory impressions blend with emotions. The result is literature that feels remarkably intimate and psychologically realistic. Fourth, the search for order. Despite all the chaos, modernists continually search for structure. Many turn to mythology, religion, and cultural traditions. Ancient stories became frameworks for understanding modern life. This search for hidden order is one of the defining characteristics of modernism. Among the greatest modernist writers are James Joyce, Virginia Woolf, William Faulkner, T.S. Eliot. Consider Eliot's masterpiece, The Waste Land. The poem feels chaotic. Different speakers interrupt one another. Languages shift unexpectedly. Ancient myths collide with modern urban life. Yet beneath the disorder, lies a desperate search for spiritual renewal. Eliot is gathering fragments because he still believes they might form a meaningful whole. That is modernism in a single sentence. Now we move forward several decades. The world experiences another devastating war. The Holocaust reveals unimaginable human cruelty. Nuclear weapons create the possibility of global annihilation. Television transforms culture. Advertising saturates daily life. Consumerism expands rapidly. Mass media begins shaping perceptions of reality itself.
By the 1960s and 1970s, many intellectuals had become skeptical of every grand explanation that promised certainty.
Modernists asked, how can we discover meaning? Postmodernists asked, why assume meaning exists at all? Modernism mourns the loss of certainty. Postmodernism questions whether certainty was ever possible.
Postmodern writers do not attempt to reconstruct a broken world. Instead, they examine the very idea of reconstruction. They question truth. They question reality.
They question authorship. They question language itself. In many postmodern texts, certainty becomes impossible.
Multiple interpretations coexist. Contradictions remain unresolved. Ambiguity becomes a permanent condition.
Let us discuss the 5 great features of postmodernism. First, irony and playfulness. Unlike the seriousness of modernism, postmodernism often embraces humor. Dark subjects are treated through satire, parody, and absurdity. Nothing is entirely sacred. Everything can become material for play. Second feature is metafiction. Postmodern novels frequently remind readers that they are reading fiction. Characters may address readers directly. Narrators may discuss the process of writing the story. Authors may appear as characters within their own works. The illusion of realism is deliberately broken. One of postmodernism's most influential ideas comes from the philosopher Jean-François Lyotard. He argued that modern societies increasingly distrust grand narratives. These are large systems that claim to explain everything: religion, scientific progress, Marxism, nationalism, capitalism. Postmodernists remain skeptical of all such universal explanations. Fourth, intertextuality. Postmodern texts constantly reference other texts. A Shakespeare quotation may appear beside a comic book reference. The philosophical discussion may suddenly include a television advertisement. Literature becomes a giant network of echoes and references. Postmodernism rejects cultural hierarchies. Opera and pop music, classical mythology and superhero comics, academic theory and television sitcoms all become equally valid materials for artistic creation. The great postmodernist writers include Thomas Pynchon, Kurt Vonnegut, Don DeLillo, Italo Calvino. Consider Calvino's remarkable novel, If on a Winter's Night a Traveler. The book constantly reminds readers that they are reading a book. Every time a story begins, it suddenly stops. The reader must search for another fragment. The novel transforms reading itself into a game. That playful self-awareness is quintessentially postmodern. If you remember only one idea from this lecture, remember this metaphor. Imagine a shattered mirror. A modernist sees the broken pieces and says, there must have been a complete image once. My task is to reconstruct it. The postmodernist sees the same fragments and replies, how do you know there was ever a complete image? The modernist seeks unity. The postmodernist questions unity. The modernist searches. The postmodernist plays. The modernist mourns. The postmodernist experiments. That single distinction explains most differences between the two movements. You might wonder, why should we care about a literary argument from the 20th century? Because these movements continue to shape how we understand reality. When people search for authenticity in a chaotic world, they echo modernism. When people question media narratives, challenge authority, and embrace multiple perspectives, they echo postmodernism. The debate is not merely literary, it is philosophical. It concerns how human beings understand truth, identity, and reality itself. Ultimately, modernism and postmodernism represent two different responses to the same crisis. Both recognize that the world is fragmented. Both reject simple certainty, but they respond differently. Modernism asks, how can we rebuild meaning? Postmodernism asks, Why assume meaning needs rebuilding?
Modernism is a quest. Postmodernism is a game. Modernism searches for answers. Postmodernism interrogates the questions.
So the next time you encounter a difficult 20th century text, ask yourself, is the author trying to heal the wound? Or are they inviting me to examine the fascinating shape of the scar? And perhaps the most intriguing question of all is this: have we moved beyond both modernism and postmodernism into a new cultural era known as meta-modernism? If you enjoyed this exploration of literary theory, subscribe to the channel, share this lecture with fellow literature enthusiasts, and join the discussion in the comments below. Until next time, keep reading critically and thinking deeply. Thank you for watching.